much of a blessing it is to be able to experience being a woman, as well as having the intelligence, the confidence to tap into your mental abilities and apply them effectively in a workplace alongside men. We don't have to compete. We're already winning. Welcome to She Self-Invested. I'm your host, Lodisha, and get ready to tune into your go-to podcast to feel empowered, to show up authentically feminine in male-dominated spaces, while prioritizing spiritual self-care. Let's invest into ourselves together, starting now. Welcome back to She's Self-Invested. I'm your host, Lodisha, and I hope that you ladies are having a phenomenal work week. I hope that things are working out in your favor. As always, follow your favorite work bestie on Instagram at sheself_invested for inspiring work week content and show updates. Last week, we talked a lot about redefining what the word femininity means to us and how it can help us elevate in the workplace. It's time to switch gears a bit. Let's get into today's topic. How masculine traits could be slowing down your workplace success. Ladies, I know, I have to bring it up. I have to bring up masculinity on this podcast because we are working in a male-dominated field. It is so easy to slip into masculine traits, but that's why it's important to know who you are authentically as a woman so that you have the confidence to overcome these traits if you choose to. Now, granted, some people might see these traits that I'm going to discuss today as ways to win in their field, and that's fine. That's completely fine. But if you are one of those career girlies that love your feminine side, despite that you're intelligent, this is for you. If you're focused on maintaining your energies while you're in the workplace, this is the conversation for you. Let's get into it. Let's first discuss what are masculine traits, right? What are the traits that are traditionally perceived on men alone? They are assertive, right? They're direct and confident in expressing their opinions and making decisions, and they're competitive, right? So they know their only focus is beating the next man, making sure that they have the best outcome. Or maybe they're the kind of man that is independent. They prefer to work alone and they value their self-sufficiency. Just these few traits alone that are associated with being a man are traits that we as women can unknowingly adopt too. Because we have to remember, like, we just started working as women. We just started receiving rights, like, within the past 100 years. And we're still fighting for our rights. We're still fighting for pay. We're still fighting for equality. Like, we are still fighting for things that we feel we deserve in the workplace. I am saying that we never really had the representation of how to get to the top in the workplace because that's all we knew were men. That's all we knew was that men are the dominant ones in the careers because they have always been the providers. They have always been the ones who take care of the family. Easier to adopt these kind of masculine traits in the workplace if that is all that we see. And ladies, once again, that is why representation is so important. That is why it's important to know who you are as a woman in your field. So now that I discussed a couple of traits that are associated with men, let's discuss how we can sometimes adopt those traits and how to overcome them. I have personally experienced some of these masculine traits myself, and that is why I wanted to talk about this topic. And I know it can be a little cringe, but at the end of the day, our career is about growth. It is about learning new ways to overcome obstacles. It is about us remaining feminine at our core. I personally suffered with collaboration in the beginning of my career. And the reason being is that I worked at a sound shop full of guys. Before that, I was a server, which means that I was used to working independently within a group. I wasn't accustomed to collaboration. And not only just that, I lived alone. And we have to be careful because our personality can show up in our professional lives. But that is okay because we can always overcome them with being self-aware. The first time I realized that being independent wasn't good for my career was when I had to start communicating more. In the sound department, there's only 3 people. Even though we're just one small group, we still have to collaborate with the rest of the crew. It isn't just about sound. So sometimes I will have to go outside of my department to ask for things. And I know that it can be a little bit challenging for us to ask for help in a workplace. What I learned by having to go outside of my comfort zone is that I love collaboration. Oh my goodness, I've never known that. I didn't know that I love working alongside people that have the same goal in mind, people that care. I love that. That's when I realized that it doesn't make sense to work harder in the workplace, especially when we work in a space full of men. And some men who are traditionally prone to just assist you and help you. We have to realize that asking for help does not make us weak. It saves time and energy. I know I personally love when I can brighten someone's day. Like, I love seeing people happy. So that's my thing. So what I'm saying is that person that you might ask for help might really be happy to assist you because that's just their thing. So it's like, why take away someone else's happiness because we are afraid we will lose our independence? First of all, if you're independent, you're independent. You can never lose that. It's a part of you. And the thing is not allowing that independence to control your decisions in life, not to allow that independence to push people away because you got it. But instead, acknowledging, yes, I am self-sufficient. Yes, maybe I could do this alone, but it will be better to do it with someone else. You still have the thought and the confidence that you can do it, which is great. But you also know that by allowing someone to assist you, it will make it better. That is why it's important to know when and where to be self-sufficient. If you are at home, that's fine. If that's your thing, that's fine. But specifically in the workplace, once we acknowledge that we are showing up a little too self-sufficient in the workplace, we can start to figure out why. Another masculine trait that can possibly be slowing down your career success, being overly competitive. having just that strong desire to beat the guy next to you. Ladies, do we realize that we don't have to be a part of the boys club? We don't. We don't have to try to overdrink them if we go out for team events, or, we don't have to do slick things to get the reward. And I'm going to tell you why. Do you realize we are women? Do you realize how great of a gift that is? To be able to apply at a job that is overly ran by men. Do you realize that we did not have this opportunity 60, 80 years ago, 100 years ago? We are following some woman's dream that wasn't able to achieve it because women weren't allowed to work. It is untraditional of a mom to leave her kids at home. So she must be at home with her kids. Do y'all understand how much of a blessing it is to be able to experience being a woman, as well as having the intelligence, the confidence to tap into your mental abilities and apply them effectively in a workplace alongside men? We don't have to compete. We're already winning. We're already raising the statistics within our chosen field already. It was never in woman's nature to compete, especially with a man. It's to create. Now, maybe you are in a competitive field that requires you to compete with the next person. Maybe you're in sales. I respect that. But if that is you, find a different way to come at your target besides facing him head on. We are women. We are so intuitive and so intelligent and so innovative that we can always find a better way to overcome our challenge. And that is why I'm saying this. We no longer have to be competitive in the workplace as long as we know who we are as a woman, as long as we know who we are as women, as long as we are tapping in to who we are authentically. And lastly, assertiveness. This is interesting because it's like, once again, some of the masculine traits that I listed that can possibly be slowing us down in the workplace, some of them make sense to be. That's why this topic is a little sticky. But remember that we don't have to desert our feminine traits completely just because we're working with men. We just have to find a way to align them both so that we can achieve our goals, so that we can succeed. Assertiveness, being direct and confident in expressing your opinions or making decisions are and can be considered masculine traits in the workplace. This is triggering for me because I am direct, right? I am confident in expressing my opinions. You might be confident in expressing your opinions. You might be a really good decision maker, and you might be super direct in conversation. These things are true. But how can we balance that assertiveness with warmth? Because warmth, that's our feminine trait. That's our soft trait. A way that you can align your assertiveness and femininity is simply by acknowledging that that is who you are. You are an assertive person. You are direct. But you might also be really well at helping others express their needs and opinions without aggression. But you're also feminine. You also have that feminine energy. You might be a really good listener. You might be really understanding. By being able to align your warmth with assertiveness, this can help you become more approachable in the workplace. It can make individuals more likely to trust you, and this can help you build trust with your coworkers. By doing this, you're able to foster a stronger professional relationship. So we talked about how being overly independent can affect your collaboration in the workplace. We discussed how being competitive can affect your chances of growth in the workplace, and remembering that we are already winning by being women. And not only are we winning by being just born a woman, we're doing it in a male-dominated space. So you're already a winner. If anything, let's set goals for ourselves. Let's get comfortable competing with ourselves. That is the only person who should have your attention when you are focused on achieving a goal. Not your coworker, not people saying how you won't make it, but you already seeing your success and believing that God has already given you what you prayed for. We have to remember that we can tap into our spiritual energy at any time, even in the workplace, which is why this podcast isn't just women's empowerment. It's spiritual self-care and women's empowerment. We cannot forget to take care of our spirit, no matter if we're at work, at home, wherever we're at. By doing things to go against our spirit, it's going against who we were born to be. It's going against what God have planned for us. Believing that what you ask God for have already been given to you, you won't have the need to compete with your male coworker, your female coworker. You won't have the energy. You won't have the need because it's taken care of. Let's trust ourselves when it comes to overcoming conflict. We can be mindful of how we communicate in the workplace. We can have empathy for our coworkers while still being approachable. We can do both. We don't ever have to choose a side. We don't have to choose a trait to win. But what I do suggest is for us to align them both so that we can achieve workplace success. Although traits like assertiveness, competitiveness, independence are often celebrated in the workplace, they can sometimes slow down our progress, especially for women like us in male-dominated fields. Being able to switch gears from being hyper-independent in the workplace, being able to collaborate with others, have literally skyrocketed my career. It has helped me receive promotions. I know that if this is something that you're personally struggling with too, you can overcome it. Similar to recognizing that the only meaningful competition that we truly have is within ourselves. And by us shifting our focus from pointless rivalry to personal growth and development, this can help us achieve our goals even faster in the workplace. Finally, finding a balance between assertiveness and femininity can enhance our approachability and effectiveness, allowing us to insert our ideas confidently while fostering positive, collaborative environments. By integrating these insights, we can navigate the workplace more effectively and achieve our career goals. Thank you, ladies, so much for listening. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Rate this podcast. We want to know, how are you feeling about it? And lastly, don't forget to follow your favorite work bestie on Instagram at sheself_invested. Remember to keep investing into yourself. You are your greatest investment. Remember to keep investing into yourself. You are your greatest investment. You are the woman of your dreams. See you on the next episode of She Self Invested.